What's going on, folks? We are here with race day. My name is Steve Tucker. We are here today for Talladega, the absolute mecca of racing. 2.66 miles of regular season finale chaos right here for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series. And man, oh man, we're going to get this thing finished. Going to find out who's going to be in that Championship 12, as well as the contender battle. Tell you what, a lot going on today. Right now, we're going to be jumping in trackside for qualifying. Everyone qualifying right now for their spot. A lot on the line today. A ton of drivers trying to get themselves into the playoffs. And here we go so far. Blaze Crawford right now on the top. Austin Salyers in P3. Mark Whitley currently in second spot. But folks, welcome in. Big thanks to you for supporting the channel, as well as ASRA. A lot going on today. 30 plus drivers trying to find their way into Victory Circle. Plenty of them have gotten wins this season so far, but so many of them have got to win to get themselves into the playoffs. A couple of drivers on the bubble. But man, a lot of these guys have to win to get themselves into that Championship 12. And Talladega is going to prove to be a pretty crazy one. Stages will be lap 20 and lap 45. So there's two stages, two-stage breaks. And then we're going 94 laps to decide this race. There's one right there. Roger Pierce has got to have a clean race today. Fleming right now, 16 points to the good. And there he is right there. $16 points to the plus for Fleming right there. Definitely not a super comfortable lead, but obviously enough to be a little conservative today. Not too bad. Blaze Crawford still your pole sitter currently. 52.96. Still have about 4.5 minutes left to go in qualifying. Brandon Bowie in the P1 spot right now. He's obviously won a race this season at Kentucky. He's good to go. He's locked in. And right now, he needs a decent race today to lock himself in as the regular season points champion. And if he can do that, that'll lock him into 15 additional playoff points, which is basically like winning 3 more races. So looking to get that done right there today. Andrew Phipps on track right now. Very unique way to get around this track. A lot going on right here. Nick Lights, there he is. Hasn't won this season so far, but man, he looks very, very fast today. Earlier in practice, knows how to get it done. A lot of these guys getting the time in. James Kaufman up to a P7 right there in that 25, looking pretty good. Very good run. Here comes Frankie Barroso, 3-time winner this season so far. And he did win our opening season race at Daytona, the biggest of them all. And right now, what can he do to get himself that 4th win? Obviously, more playoff points and all the help he can get. Right now, looking pretty good. Has the highest out of the full-time drivers. Matthew Pont, here he is right here, the number 1 machine. Not currently in that playoff picture, but again, I mean, this is a guy right here that you get that win, and that changes the game, right? James Kaufman, the same thing here. Cuts that travel that's completely legal. And there he goes, not going to better that lap. This is typically a first lap qualifier here at Talladega. Kenny Reel up to that P10 spot in the Jordan's car. Looking very clean right there as usual. So basically, folks, how this is going to work as Bowie gets to a P3. Great job right there. Daryl Young, this is one I want to focus on too. Last season's winner here at Talladega at the regular season finale. New car today, a beast mode paint scheme presented by Harpoon Design. Big thanks to them, obviously, for coming on board today's race. Harpoon Design 250. Go and check them out, harpoondesign.com. You can get all your paint schemes done by them for NASCAR-style paint schemes, truck, Cup, or Xfinity. And here's Daryl Young, one of the best we have, I feel like, as far as super speedway racing. Will definitely need to have the help of his teammates to get that back-to-back win, but a lot of these teams, what do they decide to do, right? Do they go for the win themselves, or if they have that position to push a teammate to the win who needs it to get into the playoffs, what do they do? And a great run right there for the 71. Where does he end up? P6 for Daryl Young. Not too bad right there. Blaze Crawford still your pole sitter currently. Well, we're going to come back out on track right here. Might be trying to give it one more go. They get 2 laps, so they could come down after that first lap and cool it off real quick and give it another shot, but we'll see if that works out for him. Frankie Barroso taking one more lap around here. That's going to be it. Shuts it off. P25. A big day today, folks. So the championship obviously will be decided here in 5 races after today. Next week we'll take a break week off. And then in 2 weeks we'll be back for the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro. That'll be a lot of fun right there. And then we'll go playoff racing in 3 weeks. Sounds like it's far away, but it will come pretty quick. Right now, nobody on track currently. Qualifying just about ended. And there he is. Blaze Crawford going to be your pole sitter today for the Harpoon Design 250. That'll earn him one more playoff spot too. So that is very, very huge for him to get that job done. Very, very impressive. Here we go. The grid for the Harpoon Design 250 is here, folks. Big thanks to you for being here again. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. I always joke around and say, you can definitely help us. The algorithm for YouTube is pretty interesting, and if we get those likes, we can get out there some more. So appreciate you folks for that. Here we go. Qualifying order right now is going to be the top of the board. Blaze Crawford, there he is, your pole sitter. Very, very fast today. Mark Whitley in P2. Brandon Bowie in 3rd place. Austin Salyers rolling off in P4. Nick Lights in that 5th spot. Looking very, very good. Daryl Young in P6. Strong right there. Devin Smecker in P7. Michael Johnson going to be rolling off in P8. Needs a win today, Michael Johnson, to get himself into the playoffs, most likely. James Coffin rolling off P9. Great start right there for him. Roger Pierce in P10. Matthew Pont in P11. Andrew Phipps, P12. Kenny Reel, 13th. Max Brady in P14. Nick Simpson rolls off 15th. Tim Robb looking pretty good right now in the playoffs. Currently up 30 points on the cutoff, so needs to have a pretty decent day today. He can be pretty safe to lock himself in. Jeremy Millerin, again, Apollo teammates of Tim Robb and Jacob Wiest, need to get their boy right here into that victory circle to get him into the playoffs. Matthew Fleming up 16 points. Needs a good day today. Jackson Anderson needs a win to get locked in. Jonathan Smith, P20. Joseph Mealy, 21st spot. Richard Woodruff, 22nd. Martin Nava in 23rd. Jamie Graham going backwards already. In the 62. Rolling off 24th. Christian Angel, 25th. Frankie Barroso in 26th. Julio Villalobos, 27th. Josh Larson, 28th. Marshall Harris, 29th. In 30th, excuse me. And then Ryan Dunkelberger rounding at the field there in 31st. Dunkelberger right now up 49 points, so can kind of have a relaxed day. Feels pretty good about it. Might need to score some stage points, but really just needs a pretty good day today. Definitely enough points to feel pretty comfortable, but anything can happen, obviously. But here we go. This is going to be it right here, folks. Lap 1 about to be underway. The front row, Mark Whitley and Blaze Crawford will be your front row. A lot on the line today. 94 laps. Stage 1 will end on lap 20. We're going to give you that condensed version of the tower. That way we can show you all the action as much as we can. But here we go. Who was your pick to win stage 1? Tell me in the chat. Who's your favorite to win the race? Bunch of guys that need to win. A couple of guys already locked in, so they have nothing to lose for this wild card race here at Talladega. Harpoon design 250. We're about to hit it. Pace car going to be turning left here momentarily. 20 laps is a pretty quick time. The fuel is at 75%, so we're not going to really have to deal with fuel mileage majority of this race. It's going to come down to who can do the best, who can push the best. But a lot on the line here. Here we go. Pace car is off. Whitley and Crawford, your front row. And here we go. Geico restart zone, pretty late in the tri-oval. Start zone is down. Here we go. We are green for the Harpoon design 250. And just like that, folks, we're already going 3 wide here in the middle of the pack. Have got to be so careful. This is early on. Stage points are absolutely crucial for a lot of these drivers' survival to get themselves into these playoffs. Got to be so careful. No fast repairs today, so one wreck will end your day, potentially your season. These drivers know how to get it done. We've seen them really perform themselves. And 3 wide here, getting pushed already. We're seeing teammates working together right there, 26 and 2. That's the Murphy Esport drivers. We're seeing up high, Daryl Young, Mark Whitley, and Roger Pierce right there as well. Oh, James Kaufman already off right here. This might be a big one already in turn lap 1. Max Brady, no caution yet. There it is. And just like that, James Kaufman had a bit of an issue right there. I believe also that was involving Jonathan Smith. Has some damage. But this is what can happen, folks. 94 laps, and we're going 3 wide on lap number 3. Not very wise of us, but that is how it be at Talladega, right? That can definitely happen. Surprised that didn't take out more drivers, to be honest, but man, that was definitely a wild one. Let's go back and find out what actually happened here. Already involved Max Brady, actually. Looks like Fleming involved, not too bad. Dunkelberger through the grass. That actually happened way back here. We'll get the angle. So Millerin and Andrew Phipps right there, but it looks like it happened further up ahead. Roger Pierce in that area. Let's go back again. This is the thing about these super speedways. It's really hard sometimes to find these perfect. Yeah, just kind of a mess all over the place. Get the chopper key. Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. Let's play it back a little further. We're going to find it, folks. Not going to go away. Yeah, we're seeing Kaufman way up high right there. 4 wide tangles with Roger Pierce and Brady. We got to go back a mile in the highlight reel to figure out what actually happened here. My, oh my. Yeah, Kaufman gets hit right there, it looks like at some point. And then, man, just goes along with, I mean, Phipps and Miller and Tangle way down low, trying to get away from it. Kaufman's just all over the place, unfortunately, and that's going to pretty much end that first caution. Yeah, Smith with a huge hit right there. Brady might not have huge damage, but definitely enough. Rob as well did not need that early in this race. Up 30 points entering. Tough right there. Already 3 laps into this race. Bunch of guys coming down pit road right here for damage repairs, most likely, as well as changes to their cars. Yeah, Tim Robb, oh my word, already pretty well beat up. Max Brady has some right side damage right here. Roger Pierce, not too bad. Definitely fixing it. This place is pretty big, which is nice, so you can fix that damage pretty quick and then get back out on track. Kaufman getting through as well. Jonathan Smith. Tough break. That can happen, though, at Talladega. 3 wide on lap 3 is never a good idea. .94 lap race, a long way to go still. Stage 1, and no points are on the table, but man, they don't lock you into the playoffs, but unfortunately, people are desperate, and that's going to happen right here. That's why it's on the schedule late in the season. Desperation mode, people trying to get themselves in, but people come into this race, I assume, knowing it can be chaotic, so a lot can happen. Pace car lights are still on the track, so we will step aside for just a second. We'll thank a few sponsors, and we'll come right back here for the Harpoon Design 250.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like doggy bowl empty, Vegas full sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Welcome back in, folks. We are here for the Harpoon Design 250, and we are on our first caution of the day on lap number 5. Stage 1 will end on lap 20 under a caution for what we're just hearing now is the 1 car of Matthew Pont getting into James Kaufman in the 25 and causing a bit of a ruckus here early into this race. A couple drivers on pit road still, James Kaufman, Tim Robb. Unfortunately for them, we'll see how the points shake up for them after the race, but here we go. We're going to go back green here on lap number 6. 14 laps remaining here in stage 1. Points are on the line here. And here we go. Crawford and Nick Lights on the front. In the Geico restart zone, we're off. Two by two right now. Jamie Graham going to try and move out to the outside lane. Has no help, though, so got to be careful with that. Woodruff on the outside lane, too. Can he push him? Going to try what he can, but up front, still Nick Light side by side here in grid formation. So far, so good. Nick Lights down low. Daryl Young on the outside lane. Again, last season's winner here at Talladega, Daryl Young. He knows how to get the job done here. Very good drafter and pusher. But early on, we're seeing Nick Lights having that lead. Blaze going to get that lead right here. Gets that lap led. One more point on the total. Daryl Young with that very tight push right there. You can see it. Locked in right there. A great gap. We're seeing a bit of a gap right here. The first half, about the first 20 cars, but then right here, another gap. Already lost the draft here. Jackson Anderson leading the secondary pack right here, along with Devin Smecker and Michael Johnson. A little further on back, we're seeing a couple more guys. Jonathan Smith, Dunkelberger, Fleming. A lot of these guys were involved earlier on with that wreck, but Kenny Reel now gets pushed to the front here. Number 11 takes the point. Great run here for Kenny Reel. Again, he's another guy who needs a win today to get himself into that top 12 championship hunt. One thing we'll watch out for today, too, obviously, is that double yellow line rule. Actually, in this case, it's just that single thick yellow line. They cannot advance down there to pass, especially in the last lap or at any point. Right now that we're starting to see these guys kind of thin out a little bit. We're seeing two different packs, really. This main pack right here, and then you can see them in the background right there. There they are. All in a line, trying to catch back up to that lead pack. And if they stay single file like that, they will catch them, but it will take some time. On lap 9 right here, if you need stage points, this is not the pack to be in. These guys need them desperately. But Daryl Young right now to the point. There he goes. Nick Light's going to come back down right there. The 41 also in that picture as well. Martin Nava, new paint scheme today, looking pretty sharp in that purple and black scheme right there. Looking very, very good, but here we go. Still 2x2, taking lap 10 right now, so we're halfway through stage 1. Nick Light's making that move down low right there. And nowadays, in these cars, this next-gen car, the outside lane works so well, because if you can have a coordinated attack on the outside lane, you can really side draft the bottom lane and kind of hold them back a bit. We're not seeing that right now just because we're not really seeing a lot of teammates back-to-back, right? We're seeing a lot of scatteredness around here. We don't see a lot of teammates working together. Right now, they're still trying to find each other, still trying to get into that stage 1. Ooh, hold on there, Woodruff. Little door to Jamie Graham just a little bit. So far, this pack looking pretty good right here. Further on back, Frank Caruso. And this pack right now being led by Michael Johnson. Got a funny feeling here today that if you're a Bowie Esport driver, you're going to try and help Michael Johnson get himself into those playoffs, because he is a very good driver, has the skill to do it. And we'll kind of talk about that today throughout the race, right? I mean, it's that conflict. Do you go for the race win yourself if you're in that position, or do you be a team player and push your teammate to the win who needs a win to get themselves advanced? I think we'll see all kinds of things today. It all depends on how that last stage works out, right? Will it stay green? Will it be caution-filled? Will it be chaotic? You just never know. Julio Villalobos right now up front in that P1 spot. Hasn't quite had the season he's wished he had, but man, looking very good today in that 45. Another driver who needs a win to get themselves in the championship hunt. But a good group right here still. Darrell Young going to still be out front right there. Mark Whitley pushing into Darrell Young. Teammates right here. Christian Angel right behind him too. Christian Angel is a guy that needs a win as well. So still too early to talk about that, really. A lot of these guys, you know, they might get some great stage points, but the goal for them is to get themselves into that championship hunt. And Mealy down low as well, leading the inside lane. There he is. Number 6, All Things Go podcast machine. Looking very good. Had a week off last week, unfortunately, due to some Pocono penalties. So right now, 16 points out of the playoff picture. Doesn't necessarily need a win today, but needs some good stage points for sure. Murphy Esports going to try and get their boy in there for sure, as well as Jimmy Graham if they can. Quick check-in on the back of the pack here, secondary pack. Still single file. These guys still catching up a little bit. On board right now, Frankie Barroso in P18. Pushing Johnson as much as he can. The gap right here about 3 seconds away from that front pack. As you see on the scoring tower. We're going to keep it shrunk down there though so we can see most of the action. But these guys can still catch. But with 5 laps to go here at the line, they really got to start pushing now to get themselves into position to get points. But a great run here at the front. Harpoon Design teammates all leading in those front 3 spots. Bowie getting pushed out right there. Oh, Mealy got wicked checked up right there. Kept it going. Great job at recovering that car, man. That was close. Everyone checked up, starting off with Bowie and Woodruff, and they kept it going there. Very, very good job right there. Marshall Harris in P9. Not eligible, unfortunately, for the playoffs, even if he were to win, just because of attendance regulations within the league. But, man, look at this. Jeremy Millerin in P4 as we see James Kaufman come back out on track. Good to see that. But Millerin right there in that P4 needs a good run today to get himself locked in. What an awesome job today so far. They're catching. That secondary pack is catching, but man, 3 laps to go here at the line. Just never know. We're going to get crazy here in just a second. Obviously, we're still in the single file lane, but at some point, when do we see the breakaway? Who makes the first move, down low or up high? We're seeing Darrell Young, though, making that work. Brandon Bowie way down low here. Has his teammate Woodruff right with him as they take lap 17. High above right here, Talladega. You can see right there the 2, I believe that is, way down low. It is Nick Lights making the inside lane, trying to work here with Blaze Crawford, your pole sitter. Max Brady also back on track right now. Trying to regain with the leaders. Going to be laps down here, but car looks in pretty decent shape. Not too bad. Ooh, big wiggle right there out of Nick Lights. Got a push from Blaze. I've got to be careful here. Again, 2 laps to go. They throw the stage out at the beginning of lap 20, not at the end, keep in mind. So this is really about a lap and a half left to go here for the stage win. The playoff point will be huge for that driver, but it also pays 10 points. And for a lot of these guys, they need those 10 points. Daryl Young keeping on the outside lane here, even though Nick Lights is there. Blaze Crawford is there as well, but they have no help. Graham going to make a move there down low as well. And at the line, we're 1 lap to go here for stage number 1. Who will get the first stage of Talladega? Daryl Young. We know how strong he is. We know that he is the defending race winner here. And the inside lane is there. It's going to be a big wreck right here. Woodruff and Jamie Graham, as well as Villalobos in the back and Kenny Reel. That's going to be the stage end, folks. On lap 19, Daryl Young, I believe, was shown as the leader at the time of yellow. So he will be the stage winner right now. Very, very close call right there. But there he is. Daryl Young going to be your stage 1 winner. Caution would have come out normally in just a half a lap, but unfortunately that shook things up just a bit. And there he is going to get those 10 points, as well as that playoff point. That'll be pretty big for him as far as locking himself into that top 12. Great run right there for him. We'll talk to him in just a second. Let's go back, obviously, take a look at that incident and see what happened involving Richard Woodruff, as well as Villalobos and all kinds of guys right here. So Woodruff, here we go. Mealy on the outside lane. We're going to just play it out here until we see something happen. Check up right here down low. We're seeing that. Oh, Harris, it looks like, in Villalobos tangle. Not a lot of damage there on the 27. That's good news for him. He'll be able to continue pretty well right there. Who else? Mealy. Some front nose damage, but not too bad. Villalobos looks relatively clean. So overall, not too bad. But still, obviously, definitely a blow to those guys who tried to get themselves those stage points. But here we go. Pitting is underway for stage 1. And the whole field will come down pit road right here. Don't expect tires just yet, potentially in stage 2, but we're going to see a lot of these guys top off on fuel, obviously, and there we go, up at the front. Blaze Crawford gets the job done. A lot of guys choosing to get tires as well, so pretty smart move all the way around here. So we'll let them line up real quick, folks. Get them back into their grid formation. We'll go and thank a few of our sponsors real fast. We'll come back, talk to your stage winner, Daryl Young. We'll come right back.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
Welcome back, folks. This is the Harpoon Design 250 here at Talladega, the regular season finale race for the ASRA Cup Series presented by Harpoon Design. And here we go. Daryl Young going to be your stage 1 winner We have one more lap to go here before we go green, so let's bring him in real quick if we can. Talk about the race so far. Here he is, Daryl Young right now, your stage 1 winner in that 71 beast mode machine. Looking pretty good, obviously, man. Defending champion of this race. What's it going to take so far? What do you see on track?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Alrighty, man. Yeah, sounds great. Cannot wait to see how you do. There was a second half of the race. Good luck. Oh, we always have fun with Daryl. What a jokester. Hey, if you want to make it awkward, I'll make it awkward too, man. Come on now. Oh, they're always playing tricks on me, folks. It's all good, though. Hey, here at Race Day, we have fun. That's always how it's going to be. I'll slander him later on. It's all good. Up front, though, Jamie Graham and Blaze Crawford in that first row, P1 and P2. So lap 22, lap 45 will be the second stage conclusion. So we have a little ways to go. Again, fuel shouldn't be a concern here at all. But the sense of urgency will definitely play a pretty big role. So we'll see how this thing ends. A lot on the line, obviously. Points have been dished out. And here we go. Pace car going to take that left turn. We're going to go back green here, lap 23. We'll have 22 laps to go for the stage end. Here we go. Dyko restart zone about to be hit. Blaze Crawford leads us back off. And we're green. A great run so far. A lot of the guys who were in that secondary pack have now joined up at the front, though. Look at this, Frankie Barroso right there. Kenny Reel, Jacob Weist. A lot of guys got unlucky by staying in the back. Mark Whitley going to try and make it 3 wide here, looks like. In the middle. He sure does, but has help, maybe. Daryl decides to not stick with his teammate. Interesting call there. Off they go. Everybody wants to get to the front and lead this race. It's the safest spot on the track, obviously, because if they wreck, it's all behind you. Everyone right now doing what they can, still 2 by 2. And there is already a secondary pack forming. I'm not sure what's going on back half of the pack, but look at this. We're seeing a lot of these guys, Roger Pierce, Brady, I'm seeing Nick Simpson. A lot of these guys are hurt, to be fair, with the damage, but man. Big time issues. Second half of the pack, they're just trying to fix the damage as best they can throughout the race. But here we go. Mark Whitley, your Season 4 champion right now, is your leader. Getting pushed by his teammate Daryl Young, Frankie Barroso. Right there as well in the outside lane. Jamie Graham got pushed a little bit too hard right there. Oh no, Graham going to be hit into the inside wall really hard. All by himself. Came across the nose, I believe, of Brandon Bowie. And we stay green. Single car incident. Way off the track. That will not bring out a caution. And we will continue some right rear damage there for Jamie Graham. And we are still green here, folks. Not sure if that was an honest mistake, or maybe he thought he was clear, or maybe some redemption. Who knows? It's Talladega. A lot can happen here. Not to start any narratives, but man, this is that track. I'll tell you what. If you have a debt to repay, This might be that place. We will see a lot of drama unfolding here today. Already have Daryl Young going to try and swoop around here. A classic move. His teammate allows him to get to the front of the pack. Also a fantastic way to save fuel too. The driver behind will always save more fuel because they're in that draft. They don't have to necessarily be at 100% throttle the entire time. They can be at like 70%, 80%, maybe even lower, and that saves them fuel. So if they can, they'll swap often, especially in the long green flag run. So far we're seeing some great teamwork there, but everywhere else in the pack we're not really seeing a ton of teamwork. I look at this group right here, I see Schmecker, I see Lights and Mealy all relatively close to each other, but they're not nose to tail, right? Perhaps it is too early for that, but get yourself to the front, work as a team, and off you go. We do know that Flagship has an alliance with Murphy Esports. They have been the entire time, and right now, though, that does not look like to be the case. Great racing so far all around. Josh Larson by himself right here with his teammate Dunkelberger. Not a bad spot to be in. Obviously, it looks like they might have lost the draft or gained in front of the cars behind because everybody else behind him is hurt. Brady, we're seeing Villalobos, Fleming. Phipps really not too bad right there, damage-wise. Fleming maybe not as well, but a lot of these guys had damage from previous incidents in stage 1. I mean, that car of Fleming, the 88, 22 right behind him, Andrew Phipps. Not really too bad as far as, oh man, Millerin, what happened to you? Really beat up there for that number 10. He must have just hit the wall because that is a ton. He hit the wall a ton. Can't quite find it right here on the scoring tower. We'll try and find it for you, see if we can get a quick replay, but looks like that might not be the case, unfortunately. Tough break for that 10. Tried to get himself into the playoffs. Right now, though, some great green flag racing. Lap 29 about to be hitting lap 30. We'll have 15 more laps to go until we get to stage number 2, the conclusion of it. But man, great racing nonetheless so far. Daryl Young really strong today, as well as Mark Whitley right behind him. We haven't really seen anybody to contend. We see this down low, the low line here, Nick Lights, Schmecker. But this right now is the main pack. If this race is anything like it was last season we saw stage 1 and 2 pretty well crazy. Pretty hectic, obviously. Some wrecks, right? I think the big one happened, I believe, in stage 2, if I recall. But then stage 3 came, and man, it was just green flag racing for like 60 laps, and it was really pretty intense. So good stuff. Brandon Bowie right here in the back. Lost the draft a little bit, has Matthew Pont and Jonathan Smith right behind him. Jonathan Smith looks pretty good. He was relatively wrecked earlier on in stage 1, but has that bumper back on the car. Definitely still into this thing, in this race. Josh Larson fell back right now with Dunkelberger back into this third pack right here. Gonna try and tag along. Interestingly enough, I'm not sure why Brady, Villalobos, Fleming, and Phipps right there didn't let Larson and Dunkelberger lead this pack, because they have no damage. And when you have no damage, you'll glide through the air better and be faster to catch that pack. So Max Brady doesn't seem too bad himself, but all comes down to that aerodynamic advantage, or disadvantage really in this case, and so far not too bad. A little further up back, Richard Woodruff, Roger Pierce still holding on to it. Austin Sires trying to make a move on the outside lane, but has no help. Not going to do much for him right there. Jamie Graham back here working with James Kaufman. Again, these guys right here are just trying to get themselves to that stage 2 conclusion, obviously. Get some repairs, get back caught up in the draft. But this pack right here, this is the moneymaker. This is where everybody wants to be. And right now we're seeing a lot of these guys, again, pretty clean. Single file for the outside lane. This is sometimes Talladega, folks. Just long green flag runs. Yeah, we like to see the 2 and 3 wide racing and all the craziness, right? But I think after that stage 1 incident on lap 3, I think these guys kind of figured it out pretty quick. They're like, you know what, man, I can't afford to have that wreck, right? I can't afford to be in that big one. So right now, let's focus on stage points, keeping the car clean, and getting to the end, because if you want to win, you have to be there at the end, and that is going to be this kind of a race today. Patience is the key. Sometimes these races can be about attrition, don't get me wrong, right? Last man standing, avoiding all the wrecks, all the chaos. Most of us have been in Carburetor Cup or Draft Master races, and they can be pretty crazy, right? But this right here, these are some of the best on the sim performing, and sometimes that means single lanes, and we're seeing that patience is sometimes king, and that is the case. A couple of movement right here. We're seeing Anderson split the gap, trying what he can. There comes Mealy down to get behind his teammate Smecker. Was waiting for that, so they have 3 cars right there strong, as well as Blaze Crawford in the front, your pole sitter. They are catching a couple of drivers here. Looks like Jamie Graham and I believe that was James Kaufman. Yes, it is. So they'll have to navigate that in just a second. Hopefully the lap down cars stick down to the low line. Right now, they're really not doing a whole lot. Kaufman doing the respectable thing, way down low below the apron, but Graham is just saying, you know what, screw it. I'm going to be the meat in your sandwich. And splits it right there between the goalposts. And there it is. Not a bad move, though. I mean, you see that in the real world racing, right? I mean, Talladega just happened a couple weeks ago. And it's not a bad move, right? If you want to catch the draft, I believe we saw Denny Hamlin do it, and I think it was Logano, where, they're trying to resume into that main pack, and what's the best thing to do is just put yourself right in the way. And looks like Graham tried to do that, obviously, because he wants to stay in that lucky dog spot, the free pass, being that that first car lap down. But big respect, though, definitely to James Kaufman. Didn't have to pull off like he did, but he is. The gentleman right there, love to see that. Love that respect being shown on track. Race not going his way, but still being aware enough to show off. And right now, lap 36, 9 laps to go here, almost 8 laps to go at the line. Again, folks, this is stage 2, and we have gone green the entire way. So far, some great racing. 3 wide here in just a second. Michael Johnson now. We see him in that pack on the outside lane, not going to get a lot of help. And this is one of those things that's kind of throwing me off, right? Like Frankie Barroso right here in P4. About to be in P3 here if that upper lane gets working. But again, Frankie gets, he has 3 wins. So in a case like this, do you stay up front to kind of preserve your own race and not get wrecked, right? Or do you fall back behind Michael Johnson, help him push to get himself to the front of the pack? So it's all kind of that cat and mouse game, right? It all depends on how it works. Right now, though, we're seeing that low lane really kicking in. Some awesome angles of these cars around this 2.66 mile track. Daryl Young on the outside lane. Blaze Crawford trying to do what he can to get back around him as well. He's got the power of Murphy Esports behind him. And then Jackson Anderson So far, so good. Quick update on the secondary packs. We're seeing Matthew Pont, Jonathan Smith, Brandon Bowie, all right here. And then further on back, Max Brady, Fleming, and so on, all holding on pretty strong here. But up front, this is the main pack we're watching. As we come down to lap 39, gonna start to get a little heated here. Maybe as we hit lap 40. These guys want to get themselves into that lane. Let's ride on board real quick. Blaze Crawford as he tries to get himself into that top spot. Big bump right there. You can look at that rear view mirror. Devin Sprecher right behind. Michael Johnson makes a great move to go down low here. Outside lane, kind of shambly. Blaze has to be careful to not hit Michael Johnson in the corners. You have to hit him square. You can't hit him too much on the corners. Right now, look at this aggressive pushing. Getting a great run here. Michael Johnson with a fantastic move to dive low of Blaze Crawford. And look at this. Crawford tandem drafting here to get Johnson to the lead. But how long will that stay? Because the outside lane is awfully strong today. Inside lane looks a lot more together. Look at this. Crawford pushing Michael Johnson here. They're not teammates, but man, you would think they are. Looking very, very strong here. The outside lane going to now form. And just like that, there are no friends, no teammates with 4 laps to go here in stage 2. Will we see a new stage winner? Right now, it might seem like it. These guys got to be careful too. Can't get too rowdy. You can't wreck each other, right? A lot of winners this season in this pack, but also a lot of guys who need wins. Michael Johnson, Jackson Anderson, Christian Angel, Kenny Reel as well. These guys, it's smart to be up here, but man, got to be so careful to not have these guys wreck too much. Hitting lap 42. Watch out for there. Michael Johnson was so close to the left end of Sprecher. Cautiously and smartly backed out of that. Nothing really different right now in the secondary packs. They're still kind of single file right here all the way back. If there's action there, we'll show you. But right now, the front of the pack is the place we want to watch. As Blaze Crawford right here, your pole sitter, tries to make a move. Look at that run the inside lane has. Wow, Blaze going to get jumped up right. Oh, lordy. Real squirrely there for Blaze Crawford. Saves it miraculously in front of the entire field. 2 laps remaining here in stage number 2. Crawford making a great move right here on the outside. Oh, doesn't have enough room to clear. Crawford was not clear right there. Trying to aggressively save this top spot. Tell you what, Daryl Young will remember that move right there. Was way too aggressive. It worked, but man, at what cost? Mark Whitley here going to push his teammate. Blaze still making the move on the outside lane. Daryl going to be careful here. He's going to push him a little bit. 1 lap to go in stage number 2. I've seen this movie before. There it is. Daryl Young makes a great move here. Hard contact. Oh, man. Blaze does it again. Was not clear. And sends Daryl Young to the back. Oh, my word. Tempers already. Mark Whitley going to get a huge shove here from Frankie Barroso. Again, this is the white flag lap for the stage. And who will win it? Oh, Mark was not clear right there. This is going to be a big wreck. This is for the stage. No yellow. Frankie dives down low here. Going to be side by side at the line for the stage. Who's it going to be? Frankie Barroso will be your winner today for stage number 2. Oh, my word. Absolutely incredible job right there. I'll tell you what, Blaze Crawford was racing like a bat out of hell, but still kept it straight. Daryl Young had the knowledge and the know-how to back out of that. But man, oh man, not to hold it back, Frankie made a fantastic move there to get himself the stage win. And there he is. Stage 2 winner for Frankie Barroso. Great job there for Frankie. I'll tell you what, that was a nail biter. If we get a finish like that for the race, woo, gonna be awful crazy. Blaze Crawford P2, Christian Angel, great points right there for P3. Worst case, might not make the playoffs, but we'll definitely be in a better spot right there for the contender playoffs. We'll talk more about that in a second. First, real quick, we'll let them come down pit road. In the meantime, we'll go and thank a few sponsors. We'll come right back, talk to Frankie.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
All right, folks, we are back to the Harpoon Design 250 here at Talladega, and right now it is pit road time for everybody coming down. Your stage winner, Frankie Barroso. We'll talk to him in just a second for stage 2. But man, Blaze Crawford driving with elbows up today. I love it. Not gonna lie, it's very fun to watch. Love the fire to try and win again, as we saw him do earlier in the season. If we get that same fire from a couple of these guys who need to win to get themselves into the playoffs, man, this is going to be one hell of a second half of the race. But a great run so far. Jackson Anderson looks like he's going to lead them off of pit road. Pretty cool right there. So let's bring in Frankie Barroso here. Again, as he is your stage 2 winner. Let's bring him in. Where is he? Here he is. Frankie Barroso, your stage 2 winner by the narrowest of margins, man. That was getting pretty wild right there. Blaze Crawford in front of you. It seemed like he almost caused 4 big ones. It was getting pretty crazy. But you got the job done. Really good move there at the end, man. How'd you do it?
I'm not even gonna lie, I really don't know. I don't know about 2 things. How he didn't wreck out of turn 2. How he didn't wreck coming out of 4. How he didn't wreck on the, like, when Christian about chopped Christian's nose, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know how we didn't wreck 3 times, but no, I was just in a good position. Once I didn't turn myself in front of the 3, I kind of had position on Blaze. A little too aggressive, at least in my opinion. Not just him, but it's I mean, we're at stage 2, but, you know, it's at least good practice for the end of the race to what that's going to be. If that's going to be even more than this, then I hope the fans, I hope everybody is tuning into a good one.
Yes, sir, that might be the case for sure. On a level of 1 to 10, real quick, not to put you on the spot, but how cooked are you?
10.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how I won that. I don't even know how I won that.
Oh, good, man. Okay, good luck rest of the way, dude.
Thank you.
Frankie Broso, always a good time in the booth. Right now, though, lap 48, we're going to go back green on lap 49. So we are going to wind this thing down quite a bit. Again, a lot can happen right there. We saw it stay green really that entire time. I mean, man, it got pretty hairy. We saw Jamie Graham obviously spin out across the nose of Brandon Bowie. We couldn't find that that highlight. I do apologize for that, but we kind of saw it live anyway. So that was unfortunate. Right now, he's currently in 26th. Catching back up to the field, Daryl Young right there as well in 25th. So right now, looking pretty good for the points. Again, a lot of these guys need the points. Christian Angel right there finishing 3rd. So again, points-wise, most likely Angel has to win the race, but he's putting himself in that position, right? And that's all you can really ask of yourself, right? Is to put yourself in position at the end of the race to be there. If you can be there at the end, all it takes is that right move, the right pass to get the job done, and he could do it. Same thing with Jackson Anderson. P1 right now. We're going to restart this race. Jacob Weiss right here doesn't necessarily need a win, but needs a good points day to lock himself in. Martin Nava in P6, man, him winning would be huge as well. We're going to find out, though, real quick. Here we go. The start of stage number 3. The Geico Restart Zone, Anderson and Crawford, your leaders. And we're back green. And just like that, folks, we're going to sneak in a Bring the Noise segment sponsored by Harpoon Design. Hey, usually when we do that, a caution comes out. So we tried to not do the commentator curse. Seems like it worked, knock on wood. But here we go. Lap 50 coming to lap 51. The whole pack is together right here. And Jackson Anderson leading the pack here. But look at this. Max Brady back from the dead. Had a pretty well beat up car earlier in the race, but now finds himself in that secondary row. It's a great climb from the back right here. Lap 51, still plenty of race to go right now. Little less than half. So who will push the issue now? Who will want to get to the front? We're seeing Roger Pierce as well. There he is. And Jonathan Smith. These guys have had the time to fix their cars, fix the fenders. Right now, great 3 wide racing. Anderson still your leader, being pushed by Mark Whitley. Blaze Crawford and Max Brady on the outside lane working together as well. We saw them work together like this in Atlanta earlier in the season, and they were very, very strong. So we'll see how they can contend with this now that they're nose to tail. Pierce got a little bit bobbly right there, right behind his teammate Whitley. Jonathan Smith, though, so we have 3 Harpoon Design team members in that middle lane. And it's getting crazy right now. Lap 52. Outside lane still showing as pretty prevalent right here. We're seeing the middle lane work as well, but the inside lane is there, but not really falling, or not really moving forward, I guess. They're falling back a little bit. We'll see 2 lines form here. Nick Light's going to get freight trained. Unfortunately, a little bit got left out to dry. Further back, we're seeing some different packs. We see one more pack here in the further back. There we go. Andrew Phipps, Daryl Young lost the draft a little bit. But up front, Mark Whitley is your leader, crosses the line right there. Jackson Anderson outside as well. Man, how big would it be if Anderson wins this race today? Obviously, 40 more laps to go. We're not even close to done yet, but the mind starts to wonder here. Will we get that first-time winner? Blaze going to go down low right there. Did not stick with his buddy, Max Brady. Interesting call. Blaze really wants to either win this race or be a factor for sure, and we're seeing it happen right here. Teammates, for the most part, still scattered. We don't really see many together. And that can be an issue for sure if this thing stays green. And right now, last season, this was about the time where we saw this race go green the entire rest of the way, and it really shook things up, especially after the green flag pit stops, which we do expect to see, not now or soon, but definitely before the conclusion of this race. So Brady still pushing the 83 of Jackson Anderson. A little bit further back here in this pack, Josh Larson is now regained in here. Jacob Wiest as well. Again, more guys who need to get a win today. Wiest, again, not so much. Just really has to have a decent points day. But Larson for sure needs that win. Matthew Pont, Angel. Jonathan Smith right there in that 72. He could win, but he's part-time officially in the season, so the win wouldn't necessarily put him in the playoffs, but hey, a trophy's a trophy. But a good field so far. Smacker up back right here. Fleming also back to the front after his damage earlier on in the race. Austin Salyers right there as well in P19. Has that right side damage, but really not too bad. Just a bunch of scratches. Can definitely overcome that. Millerin is back on track too. Good to see. They're getting his points. They're trying to do what he can right here. Quick update on some drivers in the back of the field here. Nicholas Simpson, 29th. Trying to push Daryl Young here. Kaufman, Tim Robb together right here. Just trying to hold on and get some points. Potentially down on power Jamie Graham as well right here. So these guys, they have lost the pack, and that's bad news for them. They have to get back. They have to hope for a caution, or at a minimum work together in a straight line to catch that draft. Back at the front, we're still seeing great racing. Blaze Crawford in the front. Anderson gonna get pushed right here. Man, big checkup down low. Anderson side drafting right here. Doing a pretty good job right there, actually, by side drafting. He'll have a huge one here. Where does he go? Gonna bump Crawford. Decides to keep that lane going. Anderson definitely good at these kind of a track right here. Super speedways. The draft is something that isn't always easy. You have to kind of master it, figure it out. We're saying this guy's doing a pretty good job. This track is the great equalizer. Anybody can win this race. But we are too wide all the way back here on lap 59. Great view from up high. We're seeing Whitley pushing Nick Lights. Matthew Pont right behind as well. That low lane not really getting the help they need. Looks like they'll go down low, which is an interesting call because the outside lane really is a pretty good spot to be if you have good teammates to make it work. And Frankie Barroso now has that lead on the outside lane, your stage 2 winner. Working his way back up to the front. And so far, folks, what an amazing race. We've seen some close racing. We've seen some sketchy moves. But that is Talladega, and really, really good action so far. Christian Angel pushing Frankie in that 48 Bowie Esport machine to the front right here. And Mark Whitley doing the same thing to Nick Lights. Mark Whitley is admittedly not a big fan of these kinds of tracks, but right now looking pretty good here in that top 5, doing what he can. Jacob Weiss going to get pushed right here by Joseph Mealy. A couple of guys who don't necessarily need wins, but just need really, really good points days to lock themselves in. So far, that might happen right now. Lap 61. Starting to wind down these laps just a little bit. Look at this, John Smith here on the outside lane, going to get pushed by Roger Pierce. These two are teammates. Will they get help? And who's it going to be? So far, by themselves. We're seeing nobody else go with them. That's interesting for sure. Jacob Weiss, by the way, to the lead with Joseph Mealy. What a great run for these two guys. Devin Smecker, I believe, in that drip drops machine right there, looking pretty good as usual. There it is. Look at that car. Whew. Looking good today. 3 wide, though, already. That changed pretty quick. And Joseph Mealy to the point. What a statement that would be for Joseph Mealy to win this race after being parked last week for a penalty infraction. I don't want to keep rehashing that, but obviously it's part of the narrative of his season, so that definitely should be covered. But 3 wide here in the back. This is for about 10th on back right here. Josh Larson in the middle. He's got teammates behind him, Crawford and Jackson Anderson. Let's see right here what Flagship Motorsports can do in that middle lane. All looking pretty good. Man, Brady right there followed Weiss. Uh-oh, hold on to her. Almost caused a big fumble right there. Max Brady, I believe, got tagged up with somebody else. Couldn't quite tell who it was, but man, close. Josh Larson, man, was so close, about 100 feet away from winning in Atlanta. A couple races back to lock himself in, and it would have been his first race win of his career here in ASRA, but just couldn't get it done. Unfortunately, got wrecked. Unintentionally, obviously, pretty much at the line. Oh, Jonathan Smith goes around, and just like that, that'll be a yellow. Basically riding on board right there watching Josh Larson. Not huge damage, but man. Front end looks pretty clean. The back end might have some damage, but not too bad. But that will shake up some stuff right here for sure. On lap 64 with 30 laps remaining. I believe it all started with Jonathan Smith. Go back if we can real quick. Oh, lordy. Crab walking into turn one. That's going to be a bad day and a bad result, unfortunately. Let's go back and take a look once we find it. Still working on that real quick. Here we go. Let's see if this is it. So Jonathan Smith, it looks like, might have come across the nose there of, I believe, Roger Pierce. But yeah, John Smith, huge wreck right there. Frankie Brosov, Blaze Crawford also involved. Your pole sitter and your stage 2 winner. Frankie might hit the wall here. Can't quite tell. Blaze keeps off of it. Not too bad there for both of those guys. Keep it off the wall. Let's rewind it just a tad bit more to see what actually transpired here between. Okay, you can see it right here. So Roger Pierce in the 76, 72. Yeah, Roger just hits him in the worst spot. Teammates too, by the way, but man, just unfortunately close racing. Yeah, Larson right there gets involved, but not a huge amount of damage. But this will be key for a lot of these guys getting through this wreck. But this now makes it interesting as everybody comes down pit road. Evan Smecker was being shown as your leader. So right here, everybody comes down. Maybe you put on tires, but you definitely put on or fill up that full of fuel. And here we go. This should get them to the end of the race, if my notes here are correct. Hate to see that amongst teammates, obviously, but that can happen. Again, close racing, 200 miles an hour. You've got 30 cars on track, right? These things are going to happen. But good racing nonetheless still. Only our 4th caution, keep in mind. So really, we've only had 3. Well, I guess 2 for incident. And then 2 for the stages. So not too bad. Definitely good racing on the track for sure. Hope you folks at home are entertained. And if you are, hit that like button, subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. Regular season finale here for the Harpoon Design Cup Series. And there's the choose car right there. We haven't shown it off just yet, but Brandon Davis, big thanks to him for being in the car today. If you're not aware of the process, basically, just like in real life, NASCAR has that logo, that orange logo on the track right past the start-finish line. And what they do is, with 1 lap to go, they choose to go left of it or to go right of it, and that'll determine their lane for the following restart. And since we don't have that graphic on the track itself just yet from iRacing, we put in an actual car. And it works quite well. Sometimes it gets hit, you know, but that can happen. But there it is right there. And man, an awesome job. Big thanks as well to Harpoon Design for designing that car, and as well as most of the cars on the track today. So good looking field for sure. And you can look just as good by going to harpoondesign.com and filling out a form and getting yourself a paint scheme. So go do it. It's lap 65. We're going to go back green here, I believe, next lap. Yes, we are. Pace car lights go off. We'll hit a quick commercial break as we do this lap here. We'll come right back for the remainder of the race. Be right back, folks. All right, folks, here we are. We are back here at race day for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series at Talladega for the Harpoon Design 250, the regular season finale here for the season. Getting pretty intense right now. Your leaders, Jacob Wiest and Devin Sreck, are going to be leading us back off after our fourth caution of the day. Definitely winding this thing down, getting pretty close here. Almost 25 laps to go, and things are going to get intense. A lot of these guys need wins to advance into the playoffs. A lot of guys are already advanced based on points or based on wins. But some guys just want to get that race win for the first time. So will we see a first-time winner? Will we see somebody who's seen victory lane many times? We will find out all together. Here we go, though. Back green on lap 67. Approaching 25 laps to go. We're back green, and there we go. Devin Srecker, Jacob Wiest, and the whole field's back together. You never know when that last caution will come out, so you gotta be careful here to not lose the draft. We've seen the back half. Look at this. Already a gap right there in front of Andrew Phipps. Cannot lose that draft. But up front, Devin Srecker, Joseph Mealy up at the front. Jacob Wiest as well, up high. Unfortunately, Wiest is really the last one of the Apollo Motorsports drivers. Millerin got out of the race earlier on, and Tim Robb, unfortunately, he's on track, but hurting quite a bit right there on the front ends. It was 30 points plus for Tim Robb entering this race. Hopefully things work out for him to lock himself into the playoffs, but we will see. But Murphy Esports, we talked about it earlier. When is the teamwork going to start happening? And right here, we see it. Nick Lights, Joseph Mealy, Devin Srecker, all Murphy Esports drivers, all pushing each other here. So this is huge. What can they do with this? They definitely have it in their hands right now. But further on, we're seeing some more drivers. Max Brady, very, very fast driver, awaiting that first win. Roger Pierce, again, needs that win today. Dunkelberger doesn't necessarily need the win, just a good points day for him, and he'll be locked in. But so far, so good. Next time by will be 25 laps to go. Look at the front. Martin Nava. One of our drivers here from Mexico. Always very cool to see. Some international flavor. Leading a couple laps. Oh, yellow flag on the track here. What is this? We don't see any cars spun out or anything. This could have been, oh lordy. Austin Salyers. Really, really tough break right there. I'm guessing this was probably an admin thrown caution. As they do sometimes, if something happens off track that involves 3 or more drivers, they will throw the yellow for that if iRacing doesn't. So that was most likely what happened here. Take a look back if we can find it. This might be a little tricky, but I got a funny feeling I can find this. Let's take a look. Oh, a huge checkup in the back right here. I mean, that's just it, right? Snowball effect down low. Huge checkup. We're seeing Salyers involved. Woodruff involved a little bit. I believe also we see right there Jamie Graham. Might not have been exactly 3 cars, but definitely involved a couple for sure. So looks like that might have been the caution thrown. But those checkups, especially with how intense this can be, and that really stacks up the field, and not a bad call there by race control. Obviously get the field back underway. Keep this thing competitive. But here we are, 25 laps to go. Here we go. Couple guys, look at these. Bowie, Pierce, Michael Johnson, Smecker. A lot of these leaders coming down pit road. A lot of guys not deciding to come down pit road too. So this right here tells me we're going to be topping off on fuel, making damn sure they can make it the rest of the way. Because again, keep in mind, we have 3 green-white checkered finishes to get through, if that were to be the case. But so far, a great race so far. I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. These races, sometimes you just don't know, right? When you put them on the schedule as the regular season finale, you kind of expect it to be crazy. You know, potentially caution filled, right? The big one happens, or, you know, things like that. You expect it to happen, but that's also kind of the magic, right? You just never know what can happen. It could be a nice clean race like we saw last season, or it could be a mess, but that's just part of the game, part of how this track operates. But right now, Martin Nava going to be your leader in P1, Jacob Wiest in second spot. And look at this top 5 right here. Martin Nava, Jacob Wiest, Michael Johnson. We'll give you the cool angle here of the choose car, just so that we can show you where they choose. There it is. Nice view if you're a driver. Just pull to the left or pull to the right. And off you go. Good job right there. So here we go. The top 5, as I was saying, Martin Nava, Michael Johnson, Anderson, Wiest. Man, all of these guys pretty much need to win to get themselves in the Championship 12. And they can get it done right here. How many times have you seen races before where it's just caution after caution after caution at the end of the race, right? And being in that P1 spot, P2 spot, you know, whatever it is helpful, because you can maintain that spot, and hey, if there's a green and white checker to end it, you just stay up front and maybe you get yourself locked in. A lot can happen here. We're seeing Dunkelberger, Larson in P6, Roger Pierce in P7. Majority of this top 8, I would say, the top 8 has never won before. Excuse me, Dunkelberger has won a race before in season 4, but 1 through 8 has not. Whitley obviously being the exception. So that's pretty wild stuff. Christian Angel as well back there. So most of these guys in the top 10, I would say, this could be a huge race for them to get your first win in the league, but also a win that can catapult you to the playoffs. That can be pretty wild. In this league, there's no, requirements as far as like you got to be top 30, to win the race. Like if you win a race, there's no top 30 rule like I know NASCAR does or something similar. The only requirement is that you meet the attendance policy, and so far, again, if my notes are correct, everyone meets that. So pretty crazy stuff here. 23 laps to go. Gonna figure this thing out pretty quick. Michael Johnson right there. I'll tell you what, if Michael Johnson finds himself into these playoffs with a win, I'd watch out. I've raced with this guy in other leagues, and I've seen him race, and man, he can be very, very fast. So we're gonna find out what he can do. And here we go. Sun's getting a little lower right now. We're not gonna hit nighttime, obviously. The track has no lights, but we will get pretty close to sunset. And that means different shadows, a cooler temperature, and faster speed. So here we go. The Geico restart zone going to be in. Martin Nava, Michael Johnson, your leaders. Here we go. Back green. What kind of race will we see for these last 22 laps here? Who will push who A lot of different drivers in the front. I'm doing a quick scan right here, and I don't see any teammates side by side here. Pretty wild stuff. Dunkelberger on the outside lane here at the front. Johnson going to sneak in down low. Couldn't quite make that work, and leave out Nava to dry there in the middle. And just like that, we're 3 wide, but nobody going to come to the aid of Martin Nava. Unfortunately, will get sent back. 22 laps to go, 21 at the stripe. And Michael Johnson is your leader. Look at this top 10, folks. Unbelievable. Gotta be careful there. Big checkups, different speeds. Outside lane prevailed right there. We talked about it pre-race to a couple of different teams. It's, what do you do? You know, 20 laps to go, 10 laps to go. What do you do, right? If you're in that top 10, if you're in that top 5, in a case like this, and this might be the best example, Dunkelberger right here is the teammate of Jackson Anderson. And Dunkelberger is basically in the playoffs with his points. So do you help your teammate? Do you push Anderson to the win? That's obviously not going to happen because he just said, nope, we'll see ya. Went down low in front of Bowie, and now we're 3 wide here. As we come down to it, if it stays this chaotic, I've got a feeling it's every man for himself. Who can get the job done here? Who can win at Talladega? Even if you don't need the win. Everybody wants to win this race. Brady with a bold move there to go down into the middle lane in front of Smecker. Smecker got to be careful there. Oh, big move! Huge wreck! This is the big one here today, folks, at Talladega. Look at this, big maneuvers. Whitley involved as well. Max Brady, I believe. Roger Pierce, Jacob Wiest. And just like that, with 19 laps to go, a bunch of wrecked race cars. My, oh my. Brady got involved as well, I believe, in the front end. Let's go back once and take a look. I believe it all started here with Max Brady. Yeah, you can see right there how tight that middle lane is. They all checked up. They just had nowhere to go, right? Bad bumps, nose to tail, and that right there will... Man, look at Larson squeezing by. Great job right there. Jamie Graham as well, squeezing by. Brady goes for a spin cycle. Not too bad, though. Graham gets through. And look at this shot right here. Smecker around. Roger Pierce, he did not need to see that. Wiest as well. Matthew Pont kind of gets through right there through the smoke. A lot of calamity right here. Let's go back a little bit, see if we can watch it from the replay. Just a big mess right there all the way around. Not a lot of huge contact for a couple of these guys. So I feel like a majority of them should be good to go as far as damage. They'll have to repair it, obviously, but I don't think it'll be monumentally bad for a lot of these. Like Blaze Crawford, Max, really not too much damage. Daryl Young has some front-end damage. Hasn't really been a factor since really the end of stage 2 when he got shuffled back. So pretty wild stuff, obviously. Smecker, Crawford, a lot of these guys coming down pit road, fixing some damage. So much on the line right now. Let's quickly, folks, go and take a quick break. You never know if we'll see Green Fly Racing after this, so we'll go and thank our sponsors real quick. We'll come right back.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like doggy bowl empty, Lakers full sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
Here we are, folks, back to the racing with 17 laps to go here at Talladega for the Harpoon Design 250 at Talladega. This is the regular season finale for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series. And right now, look at the front of this field. Ryan Dunkelberger, Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson, again, finding himself into that front of the pack, needing to get that win. Can he get the job done? I'll have to find out right now, but half a lap to go before we go back green. A couple of storylines to consider. Obviously, we just talked about Michael Johnson. Dunkelberger pretty much into the playoffs with a good finish here, but hey, a win could definitely boost the confidence. Brandon Bowie, very strong. Nick Lights. Jackson Anderson, a huge storyline right there if he can find his way into this winner's circle. Same thing, though, with Jamie Graham. Up and down day today. It was spun out earlier. Finds himself in P6, so might, again, anybody in this top 10, I feel like, can still win the race. Martin Nava. Fleming was only up by 16 points entering this race. A good finish will most likely cement himself into that championship 12. And then Josh Larson in P9. Tell you what, folks, a lot of these guys who need wins are in position to get the job done. But will it work out for them? Can they get it done? About to find out. 16 laps to go once we hit the line. Have we seen our last caution? I don't know. You just never know what can happen. It's going to get pretty crazy and pretty chaotic. But here we go. Pace car is going to pull off right here. Front row is Dunkelberger and Johnson. We see some Bowie teammates up front, some flagship teammates. Whoa, hold on now. Bit of a checkup right there. And here we go. Back green with 16 laps remaining in the Harpoon Design 250. Tough bumping right here. We're not going to see a lot of wiggle room. Look at the back of the pack right there. So Matthew Pont still being shaken up in the further back. Look at this. Max Brady in the middle of the pack. Christian Angel as well. All getting forced backwards. But tight racing. These guys can't waste any time. 16 laps is nothing here. But look at this on the outside lane. Daryl Young, Mark Whitley, Roger Pierce. All on the outside lane together. That's a dangerous combination there. We can see those guys. We'll watch out for them for sure. Dunkelberger still your leader. Johnson right behind him. And look at who's behind Johnson. There's Brandon Bowie, his teammate and team owner. And this is what I was talking about earlier, right? 15 laps to go, 10 laps to go, whatever it might be. What do? We know Bowie's already in the playoffs with the win. We already know he's most likely going to become regular season champion with the points. But what do? Do you push your buddy here, Michael Johnson, to the win if you can? Or do you go for the win yourself? We will see, but a lot of that can be done by a lot of these guys. The outside lane right now picked up Kenny Reel. Not really making a lot of progress right there, but still 3 wide with 14 laps to go. Anderson up high as well, going to try and make that move. Almost 4 wide there as well. Daryl Young got hung up a little bit. The time to go, folks, is right now. We'll watch the outside lane as it continues, but out front, Dunkelberger, Michael Johnson. This is the spot where you want to be in. Nick Lights P4, Jamie Graham in 5th. Fleming in P6. A lot of these guys right here looking pretty solid. Single file here for about the top 10. Starting to see some more single file as well, so looks like they want to calm it down just a little bit before we get to that finale of this race. Seeing some separation right there behind Frankie Barroso. We're seeing Martin Nava now catching up. He might have a run here. There he is. Takes the outside lane. Larson going to follow him. Maybe not, though. Sticks behind Frankie Barroso. And sometimes this is the luck factor, right? Do you put yourself in the right position to win the race? Do you pick the right lane? Do you pick the right person to follow? Laps remaining, folks, in this Talladega race. We're seeing back at the field too, a couple of guys, Blaze Crawford, Christian Angel back here. Christian Angel has got to get on his horse, as they say, and get to the front. And now we're seeing Max Brady going to be pushing Jacob Weist here. Going to tag along in that lane on the outside. That'll make the outside lane a lot stronger. Dunkelberger is your leader right now. But look at the outside lane. They are there. Kenny Reel, Dunkelberger going to try and defend it. Can't quite do it. Going to get sent back here. Villalobos goes with the outside lane. Oh, big wreck. Do they hold on to it? How did they save that? They were 4 wide, beating and banging. I believe that was Villalobos. Got tangled. And they all keep it going. Holy. Kenny Reel to the front. Got around right there, but now that leaves the outside lane open for Daryl Young and Mark Whitley, as well as Roger Pierce. This is bad news bears for this field. If Harpoon Design Team can make this work like they want it to, this is exactly what they needed to see. And just like that, we're 2 by 2 here for the lead. Kenny Reel down low. Anderson going to try and sneak above here with Brady. That'll bring us 3 wide here with 10 to go. Getting word that Smucker hit the choose car pretty hard under that yellow. We're not going to go and check it out just now, obviously. If we do get a yellow, I'll try and track it down, but I'm sure there will be many memes made after the race. But right now, we have a Talladega race to figure out. And Kenny Reel is the leader here. Again, a Bowie Esport driver. Also looking to get himself that win to get into the playoffs. So what do you do here? You've got Bowie, Brandon Bowie in that gold car in that 3rd spot. And you've got 2 of your drivers, Michael Johnson and Kenny Reel, who need to get a win to advance. I would not want to be in Brandon Bowie's shoes right now. Or do you go for the win yourself? Who knows? We're going to find out here. 9 laps to go. Anderson on the outside lane, getting pushed by Brady and Crawford. Some Flagship teammates all working together. Max Brady, not technically a teammate of Flagship, but has an alliance there. The flagship right now looking pretty strong right there in the middle. The Harpoon boys did not get a great shot right there. 8 laps remaining. These teammates all pushing each other. Now we're starting to see the teammates working together. Daryl Young on the outside lane pushing Max Brady. Brady's a great driver. He can handle that push. Daryl's a fantastic pusher in that car. Look at this. They're tandem, and they're catching that front of the pack by themselves. If they can help, that could be it. But Kenny Reel up front, last season's contender playoff champion, Kenny Reel. Tell you what, to get upgraded to the playoffs, if he can win this race, would be huge for him. But I'll tell you what, being P1 at the end of these races is not good, right? When does Johnson make his move? Does the outside lane actually form up? Brandon Bowie has disappeared off the track right now. Oh no. He is completely gone. I know there's storms going through a lot of the country right now, especially where these guys live. He might have been disconnected. That's a huge blow to Bowie Esports. Look at the outside lane, lap traffic approaching. Brady on the outside lane being pushed by Daryl Young. Kenny Reel down low as well. Lap down car staying out of the way so far. Respectable moves by them for sure. Mealy as well was a part of that. Not the race he wanted. Unfortunately, with the points he might not get, might not make the playoffs with this run today, but 6 laps, folks, that's it. So Bowie unfortunately disappeared out of the track completely. Hate to see that, obviously. There he is back on track right now. Hard. Just a huge blow. And you hate to see that, unfortunately. Internet connectivity issues or storms. Never a fun time. But here we go. Up at the front, some tandem drafting here. Kenny Reel, Michael Johnson. What lane do they go? Does Michael Johnson leave him now? Doesn't do it. Oh, there he is. Commits to it. Going to be right in front of Max Brady. And Kenny Reel here going to be steamrolled past to get that inside lane. Ooh, a big wreck. Pont. Down low, and I believe, going to come back on track. Keep it going. Rolls back through. And there's the yellow. Oh, boy. Looks like Larson got involved as well, but I don't see a lot of damage. Some left side damage, perhaps, it looks like. And that changes a whole lot, folks. Let's go back real quick and see if we can find out where exactly it happened. It happened around Josh Larson, it looks like. We'll go chopper view. Oh, man, did he just come across the nose of Whitley? I want to get a better angle here. Sorry, folks. So we'll see it. There he is. The blue car, middle of your screen. Looks like a small checkup actually right there between the 4 and the 2. I'm sorry, the 4 and the 51. And then, yeah, it looks like Whitley really had nowhere to go. I think hits the back of Larson, and that sends him around. Pont gets the worst of it, but keeps it going on track, so tough break right there. Comes back on track, so obviously that definitely is worrisome. You don't want to have drivers in the back right there fly on through and get wrecked, so a caution definitely is justified. So right here, with 4 laps to go, this might be either a natural green and white checkered or our first official. We will see, but this is pretty big news here for Michael Johnson. Obviously Max Brady in P2, Daryl Young in 3rd, Fleming 4th, and Jackson Anderson in P5. Being told to look back at the 77 car of Mark Whitley. Fortunately, that incident might be too far gone past my view here to go and take a look back, but we definitely saw some contact, obviously, and if I can find it, I definitely will show us, but yeah, I'm not. That might be it. Things happen so quick at this track that sometimes tracking down those replays can be daunting for sure, but. So 3 laps to go. This will be our first official green-white checkered. So this is going to be pretty wild, folks. And again, just to recap how this works, we get 3 attempts at this. So our first attempt, we're going to go back green. They'll get 1 attempt to hit the white flag. And then if they do, then the race is on and the next flag will be the checkered flag. If we get a caution before the white flag is shown, then we'll try it once more. And we'll try that 3 times. If we go 3 times, and if we get that caution, then the race ends at the moment of caution. Whoever is that leader at the moment of caution will be the winner, and the results are based on that. They still have to finish the race under yellow and checkered conditions, but that'll be the case for sure. But we're not there yet. We'll have 3 attempts at this. Outside lane, inside lane, and again, we just saw 2 and 3 wide racing, so I expect this to be pretty insane, these last 3 attempts here. But if you're a Michael Johnson, this is exactly where you want to be. Been a great race so far, obviously. 7th caution, but really it's only our 5th for incident. And so far, a pretty good race. We've seen long green flag runs, which is fantastic. Some 3 wide racing, some great racing leading up to the end of stage 2. That was incredible. Where we saw Frankie Moroso eclipse, I believe it was Blaze Crawford for that stage win. But right here, it all comes down to this. Couple of drivers in the back. We're going to go back green here in just a second, so we'll get to that. Mealy on track right now. Looks like going to come down pit road, fix some more damage, get some tires perhaps. Tim Robb still on track, has repaired that car as much as he can, currently in 24th spot. So you never know. A couple more wrecks if they were to happen, a couple cautions, and if he sneaks through them, that could be a great recovery on his day. So we'll see how that works. Kaufman, 25th. Austin Salyers. Nick Simpson back there as well. Marshall Harris off track. But here we go. A lot of drivers in this top 5 or so who need wins to advance into the playoffs. Michael Johnson needs that win. Darrell Young, Blaze Crawford, they don't necessarily need the wins, but I'm sure they'll love to win. Matthew Fleming as well. Doesn't necessarily need to win, but I'm sure would love to. But then right behind him, Jackson Anderson, Kenny Reel, these guys need the win to advance. Nick Lights, again, not so much. High enough in the points to get that job done. Dunkelberger as well. And then a couple more. Graham, Villalobos, Pierce. A lot can change in 2 laps, and we're going to find out real quick if that happens. But our first attempt at a green and white checkered is going to be right now. Who can win this race? Will we see a repeat winner? Or will we see a first-time winner and perhaps even locking themselves into the Championship 12? Here we go. Geico restart zone and the green flag. There it is, and off we go for the first attempt at overtime. Who's going to get the better push right here? Johnson has the option to go up if he wants to. He's got Willie. He's going to watch out for it. What lane does he go with? The outside lane has the run right now. Looks like a little bit. We should see him come up a little bit. Doesn't decide to do that. Stays down low. Interesting call there for Johnson to not go down low. Half a lap to go here to get the white flag. If we do get the white flag, that will be it. Daryl Young up front. We've seen this movie before, as well as Fleming. Had to pass Fleming, I believe, last season to get the win. And here he is. Can he get it? Has to defend hard. Here it is, folks. The white flag for the Harpoon design. 250. This race is official. Next time by, we're going to crown a winner. Will it be a repeat winner by Daryl Young from last season? Or will it be a brand new winner? Look at Jamie Graham down low. Jackson Anderson makes a dive bomb move. Doesn't make it happen. Huge wreck right there. And they continue. Do what you got to do to get that win, and a huge wreck behind. We'll cover that later on. Daryl Young, though, still out front. Who will win this race? Daryl still right there on the outside lane. Who's going to get the momentum here? The start-finish line is down by turn number 1. Who's going to get the run? Look at Anderson here on the outside lane. Oh, my word. Look at Anderson way up high. Not going to quite get there. Daryl Young is going to get the win here and go back-to-back in both seasons. Daryl Young, unbelievable performance here to win stage 1, and then somehow, through all the adversity, through the middle of the race, get the race win here at Talladega to go back-to-back. In that beast mode Toyota Camry, and I'll tell you what, that last few laps, he was absolutely in beast mode. What an incredible job for Daryl Young to get his second win of his career in the ASRA Cup Series, and second in back-to-back seasons here at Talladega. Definitely has proven to be one of, if not the best super speedway driver we have here today. What a great job for Daryl Young. We're going to let him burn it down in just a second. Here he comes. Gets the job done today. There it is. Daryl Young is the winner. Nick Lights in P2. Matthew Fleming in third spot. Great job right there. Michael Johnson, P4. Jackson Anderson, 5th. Christian Angel, P6. Josh Larson, 7th place. Martin Nava, 8th. Roger Pierce, 9th. And Frankie Barroso rounding out in top 10. What an awesome job. We've seen a lot of that top 10 had their best finish of the season right there. What a great job. That car pretty well banged up. But we're going to come right back, folks. We'll thank a couple of our sponsors. We'll come back and talk to your top 3. Stick around.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Welcome back in, folks, for the conclusion of the Harpoon Design 250 here at Talladega. And right now we're going to bring in your top 3. Matthew Fleming will start off and kick it off here in the top 3, the 3rd spot. What an incredible job here for him. Here he is, Matthew Fleming, with an amazing P3 right here. What a great job on the race. Pretty chaotic, obviously, and I believe, if my math is correct, although we'll finalize and officiate that later, that'll lock you into the playoffs, man. Great job today with the P3.
Thank you, Steve. It was really hectic. I can't believe I came home with the P3. I was in an early wreck. Pretty much thought my night was screwed. But apparently a couple other guys had a rough night. I know it's going to be pretty close. A good thing is with Young winning, he was already ahead of me in the points.
True.
So I was mainly worried about Mealy. Wasn't sure how many stage points he got, but yeah, hopefully it's enough. I don't know. You have a better idea than I do. But yeah, man, it was a crazy race for sure.
Yes, sir. Pretty good stuff. Obviously, we'll get the points all finalized later. I wish we had live scoring, obviously, but sometimes technology is not our friend or not available. But either way, great race, man. Talk to us about your sponsors. Who do you have?
Yeah, first want to shout out Flem Dogs Auto Repair. Obviously, they are a sponsor of this 88 machine. I wish I could have brought it a little bit higher, but hey, we'll take it. Shout out to Wheels America, San Antonio Karting Complex, Harpoon Design, and then we have a new sponsor, kind of a first-time release here. We got the OEM Wheels out of San Antonio, Texas.
Nice.
They have hopped on board. Really excited with them too. So I'm glad I can shout them out first here for the first time. So and shout out to you up there in the booth, Steve. I'll be going up there and watching it. It'd be fun as usual. And congratulations to Young for winning it. I pushed the hell out of him. And I got really hot at the end. I don't know. I probably should have played my cards a little bit different, but I knew I wanted to stay on his butt all the way through. And well, once again at Talladega, just like last year, in the top few, and I come home third. But oh well, we'll take it.
Not bad. Yeah, we're watching right now the replay of Anderson, unfortunately, getting spun around right there, but at the line. But great job and performance for him. Couldn't quite get it done, but great teamwork today for Flagship, man. Congrats again. We'll see you in the playoffs.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, there he is, Matthew Fleming. Gonna bring in next Nick Lights. Always the character to bring in. Here he comes. Here he is, Nick Lights, a P2 on the day, man. Still couldn't quite get that win, but you came so close. I feel like we saw shades of last season with you and Daryl and Fleming all together at the end, and all of a sudden, here you are finishing top 3 again, I believe, if I'm correct. So, pretty wild stuff, but great run, man. How'd it go?
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was pretty crazy that we're all top 3 again, and being so close again this season and finishing second to Daryl. He's really good at these tracks, so congratulations to him. I would come into the checkered. I was like, I'm gonna push Jackson here, see what happens, and I guess they got together and managed to get home a second place finish once again this season.
Yeah, not bad, man. That win's coming for sure, obviously, but playoffs are now going to be in sight. So, what's it going to take, do you think, to maybe get a win or even advance in the playoffs? Obviously, you've got some playoff points, tallied up and all that. So, not a bad run, not a bad start to your playoffs too.
Yeah, I just probably being consistent, with the top 5 finishes will definitely help advance. But ultimately, you do need the wins to secure yourself in the final 4. I think. We're trying, we've been close so many times this year, but I think for the playoffs we'll really lock it down and take bigger chances of getting out front and getting a win.
Yes, sir, man. Awesome job today. Give us your shout outs real quick for your sponsors or friends and family. What do you have?
Shout out to Digital Downforce for being on board, Diva Q, everybody at Murphy Esports, you guys for putting this on, and everybody watching from home. It was fun. Good race.
Yes, sir, man. Awesome job. We'll catch you in a couple weeks for the All-Star race. Awesome job, dude.
Sounds good. I love you.
Always our on-air joke right there. Love it. All right, so now we're going to bring in your winner. Man, back-to-back winner today. For Daryl Young, his stage 1 interview was pretty awkward, so let's see how this goes. I'm sure it'll be completely normal and fine. Here he is, Daryl Young, your winner today, back-to-back in back-to-back seasons for that 71 for Talladega. Definitely goes to show how well he is at these tracks, and definitely seems like our super speedway king right here. So, man, how's it going today? Big win, obviously. Didn't necessarily need to win, but hey, always a good day to get a trophy and solidify yourself in the playoffs, man. You went beast mode today, as that paint scheme shows. How'd it go, dude?
We're beast mode, baby, back to back. Like you said, I'm so happy, man. Woo! I was so stressed coming to the line there. Just so stressed, but we got it done. I'm very happy. I got into a wreck in stage 2, or got involved in something, hit the wall, had to get repairs, just like last season. Got all the repairs done, just like last season. And then, sure enough, it just so happened it was me, Nick, and Matt, 1, 2, 3, just like last season. Deja vu. It's incredible. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. We just talked about Fleming in Lights, how it just happened to come down to you 3 again. I mean, this time obviously a lot closer and pretty chaotic, but it's poetic justice, obviously. You go back-to-back, and obviously, hey, what's huge about this is that you didn't have to win, but now you have those 5 extra points, actually 6, to get to the stage win. So that will definitely catapult you into a better situation entering the playoffs, man. Awesome, awesome job. Talk to us real quick about your sponsors, your friends and family. Who do you got?
Yeah, tonight ran the Beast Mode car. I'm excited about that. Shout out Harpoon Design. Brantley did an amazing job as usual. Driven Motorsports, all my teammates tonight. Mark, John, Roger, Christian. I'm having a brain freeze. Austin. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just shout out to all the teammates. Amazing race. Also huge. I couldn't have done this without Vector. Vector was, the angel on my shoulder for this race, and couldn't have done it without him for sure. Thank you for the broadcast and all your wonderful sponsors to make race day happen. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Go and celebrate. Obviously, we'll catch you in a couple. Oh,
we're going for the the triple crown next year, baby. Triple crown, it's coming.
Triple crown, it's coming. All right. All jacked up. Love to see it right there. Daryl Young, your winner today for Talladega, and an awesome job for him to get that P1 spot. Super cool. Folks, that's going to be it for us. Big win, obviously. Again, we don't have the actual live standings here to show you who actually is into the playoffs at this point, but obviously Daryl Young in on the win right there, so pretty cool stuff. A lot of guys trying to get themselves in, could not quite get it done, but either way, a fantastic race. A lot of fun here today. Big thanks to you for all being here and supporting the channel and the stream. Make sure to hit all the like buttons, all the subscribe buttons. Make sure to check out our Twitter as well, at RaceDay iRacing. For all details, we'll be posting the standings as well as all the playoff bubble information as we go. So next week we're off. In 2 weeks we're going to be at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. Going to be a lot of fun. Check our socials for that. Thursday we're back for the Extreme Graphics Next Gen Series. That'll be at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. Going to be a lot of fun as usual. So have a good night, folks. That's going to be it for us. Daryl Young, your winner today from Talladega. Have a good night.